So, what sort of led between you encountering Doris Day and you actually singing in public? Tell us the story.
Well, the little story was that I went off and worked in a supermarket for some time, a little perk supermarket in Birmingham, and then I just kept hankering to sing. And then I got a job, you're not going to believe this, as a hairdresser in Sutton Coldfield.
Yes, Bosh.
Oh my goodness me. And I did my apprenticeship, I think it was on £4.6 a week. Yeah, it was a lot of money, Jim. And then there was two lads who used to play and sing in a pub just down the road from the shop. And I'd go in and then, singing all the Beatles stuff and a bit of blues and jazz. And I thought, hang on a minute. And one night we went in and the guy said, does anybody know this song? And I went, me! And I got up and I sang it with them. They offered me the job. Yeah.
So what was the venue?
The venue was the Old Crown in Sutton.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what did the band consist of?
Well, there was just a duo then.
Was it two guitars?
Just a guitarist and a guy who played sort of, not drums, but brushes. And it was just great. But anyway, I went back to work and they said, oh, I think you're making a mistake here. And carried on for a while. And then, lo and behold, it grew into a bigger band. And then we formed Body and Soul, which was a band from Birmingham, which was 4 Jamaican lads and 4 Birmingham people. And we just had a ball doing this. And it was Harry Francis, Wrigley Scott, and all the rest of them. And it just started from there then. We became a soul band doing a bit of, I wouldn't say blues to a sort, but more soul than anything else. We were right into the soul scene.
Well, I didn't know you were ever with Body and Soul. No,
yes.
Really important band. So what sort of material, what year was that?
That would have been about 1968, 69.
68.
Yeah.
So the soul seemed to have been maturing for 4 or 5 years.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So where did you get your material from?
Well, we just, all the American records.
Such as?
Well, Tamla Motown was the dreams from me anyway. But the lads would pick up on, oh God, I can't think.
Wilson Pickett?
Yes, Wilson Pickett, Edwin Starr. Edwin Starr was the major influence on them. And then there was so many of them. There was, remember 7 Days Too Long? I can't remember who did that. 7 days too long without you, lady.
Pretty short song.
Oh God, there was such incredible tracks. And then we just churned them out. We got in a little transit van and we went all around the country.
Well, never a name band with Body and Soul. Let me digress a little. Was it Edwin Starr that, I'm embarrassed to say this, didn't he live in Tamworth?
He did.
Did he really?
He did.
Tell us about that.
Well, Edwin Starr, he moved from America to somewhere in Europe, and then he ended up in Tamworth. Absolutely, it's incredible, yeah. And all his success, his later success came when he was based in Tamworth.
Stop her on sight.
Stop her on sight.
That was it.
Yeah, great tracks. But loads of those songs were they were infectious. I mean, I used to turn the B-side of a Supremes track over, and it was the best song ever, that you'd ever heard. There were so many of them. Martha and the Vandellas, all of these, just incredible songs to hear.
So why didn't Body and Soul make it, as it were?
Well, I don't know. I think management would have been one thing.
Wasn't he? Was it?
No, it wasn't you at the time. Not yet. But management, we were workhorses. We just went around the country, in and out of the van. But we were making money. When you think of the lads in the band that were making 3-4 quid a week, suddenly we were making maybe 10, 12 quid each a week, which was phenomenal. It really was. It was a huge amount of money. And then Body and Soul did its turn, and we all went our separate ways. And sadly, Scott, one of the bass player, he died, and we just separated then and moved on. And then I remember thinking I would start again, and I formed a band called Cissy Stone. But the Cissy came from the nun who was so encouraging to me when I was trying to sing, years in school, and she was incredible. And her name was Cecilia, so I took the name Cissy from was Saint Cecilia. And Stone was a little island, a little village. As we drove back from Middlesbrough, Scotland, you always came to Stone to get back to Birmingham. And I thought, there you go. And that's how that happened.
Until this
So
moment,
the Cissy Stone band.
I've known you several years, Cissy. Until this very moment, I always thought that was your name.
Well, my real name is Kathleen Maria Philomena Cunningham. Yeah.
That's a lot of name for one
It was. Yeah, it was. And when I went to the record company, they went, oh no.
Did your inspiration, Saint Cecilia, the nun, did she ever know that you took her name?
The nun did, because I went back the year before last, bless her, and she died 6 months later. But it was so great to see her and to show her my little medals from the fesh that you have when you sing in Ireland. You do a little competition, they give you little silver medals, and I took them with me for her to see them, and she was just over the moon.
That's lovely.
But it's beautiful, it's great. But we went on to do great things, and
So the Cissy Stone band you just mentioned that came into being after the demise of Body and Soul.
that's correct.
Was that when Jerry Dammers was on keyboards?
Slightly after that, yes, Jerry Dammers, you know who he is.
Do we know who it is?
Jerry
The man who
Dammers
set up Two-Tone Records.
set up Two-Tone, formed Specials, and he was just the most incredible man ever. And when he was with us, I mean, I'll never forget Jerry. I love him to bits, so we still talk. He comes up to see us now and then, but he's such a character. But Jerry used to arrive in the van, and he had this massive overcoat. And he said, Jerry, what's that? And he'd open the coat, and there'd be like 10 cans of special brew this side, and something else, the other side. Oh, he was just hilarious. But we went on for about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years with Jerry in the band, and it was great. And various other tours, and then after that we discovered Europe.
With the Cissy Stone band?
Yeah, with the Cissy Stone band, yeah.
So where did Gone But Not Forgotten come in?
Well, Gone But Not Forgotten came in because years ago there was a talent show called New Faces, and I happened to win the all-winner show. I think Lenny Henry won the first one, and I did the second one, and Marty Kane was, I think, the first one. I'm sorry, Marty Kane, Lenny, and I probably got that one, but it was 1976. But anyway, we won the all-winner show, and I was signed by Decca, which was where you came in. Signed by Decca, and they have to say they were incredible, because I had an offer the night that we won it. I had Decca running around like the 2 guys from Decca, I won't name them, but they ran around like headless chickens saying, Cissy, sign this, and I went, no, I can't. Then I had Warner Brothers, 2 other guys running around, sign this. Decca offered me some money. Warner Brothers said, we're not going to give you any money, but we will make sure that you get the success you deserve. Decca offered me a lot of money, and I signed to Decca.
Naturally.
I thought with the money they gave me, I could buy an airplane, a swimming pool, and they offered me £5,000.
Well, back then,
It was like £1 million.
Let's go back. £5,000 back then, you could buy a pretty decent house.
My God, everybody could buy everything.
A house that's today probably worth £250,000.
Exactly. But it was such a shock, to be offered that kind of money.
You can't turn your back on that. When you've been scuffling, you weren't scuffling, you always earned money, but you got a chance to take a huge step up and do very, very difficult to say no to.
Absolutely. And then we moved on from then, and Decca, I have to say, were very, very good. Gone But Not Forgotten came out. It was a sort of a successful track.
It was indeed.
They didn't pick up enough on it, because I remember going down to the the main place where Decca was in London, and they would, you'd have to go up to the door, press a button. Who is it? And say, Cissy Stone. Do you have an appointment? I said, well, I'm signed to you. They've asked me to come down. Well, just let me check. So you had all that going on and on and on. And then when you went upstairs, and Nominov was number 17 in the charts, I think, at the time. And the girl didn't even know. She just said, well, we don't know. And I went, why? This is quite important. Actually, it was just, I don't know what it was. But then Jim came along and helped me out. Didn't you?
I hope so.
You did, yes, you did. You went in there and shouted and, he did.
And she lost the contract. They asked for £5,000 back.
No, they did not. They sent me to America, which was absolutely amazing. And I went to the States.
I think that's great. I think it's great you did that. It's great what you did there. But what on earth made a pretty dumb, straight-laced English record label send you to America? It's a stroke of genius on their behalf.
It was. I couldn't believe it. And when they rang me up and said, you're going to the States next Friday, and I went, oh, don't be so silly, and put the phone down again. You think of all these stupid things. And they rang back, no, you are. So off we go to the States. And who am I on the aircraft with? Cary Grant. God almighty. And my mother and father were behind me, and Patrick, and they were saying, and he was behind me. Anyway, he goes off. Eventually, when we get on the aircraft, it was first class, but I was paying for it. Came off my anyway, Cary Grant was there, and Torber and myself were in the two seats, and he's in the one over there, and he goes, well, hello, you know how he talks, he's just the most amazing man. And, oh God, he introduced me to a real martini. Yeah, a real martini. Because the only martini I ever had was, the Rosso or the Blanco or something. But a real martini is a neat gin with an olive in it. Yes. Wow. What a trip we had. Going to the States, I tell you, it was unbelievable.
Was that New York or Los Angeles?
We landed in Los Angeles, yes. We were there for 7 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, they put us into this hotel, which was called the Rock and Roll Hotel of the World. And in that hotel, the whole cast of Star Trek was staying, which is incredible. Manfred Mann walked in. Thin Lizzy, they were signed to Decca at the same time as me, and a knock came on my door, and Phil Lynott, I opened the door, and it's Phil Lynott, and I nearly passed out. Hello, come on, we're all going down to get pissed, come on with us.
So apart from drinking martini and
then Phil Lynott taking you out for a night, my God.
What did you actually do?
Well, we recorded, and then we went to Whitney Studios, which was incredible. I had the musicians, in my naivety, I didn't realise who they were.
Say them slowly.
I will say them slowly. There was Steve Gadd on drums, Wal Watson on guitar, Ray Parker Jr., the bass player was, guess what's he did? Anthony Jackson, and what was
George Duke.
George Duke. I mean, George Duke on keyboards. And we're all in the room, they all, doing their bits and what have you. And we were sitting there, and I remember, when I think of this now, I just want to die. But George Duke arrived with, in a white suit with a great big hat on, and he had two or three guys with him, and a limousine outside. So he said, hi, I'm George, and I went, oh, hi, I'm Cissy. He said, oh, I'm here to do your session on the keyboard player. I went, oh, thank you so much. And then he sat there, he said, would you like a drink? And I said, well, there's only water or orange juice. And he went, So I said, well, look, I could run around the corner to the they call them drugstores, but I could run around the corner and get some, whatever you'd like. And he went, no. So he said, would you like something? I said, what? Yes, I would. I said, I'd like brandy or vodka or something like that to go with all this, because we're there for 3 days, on and off. And he says, well, come with me, and he put me in the car. And we just go from, I would say, from this table to the toilet and back. And came back with a crate of booze. So the rest is history. But the session was incredible.
So where did the material come from? What sort of repertoire?
It was more like soul and pop and soul. It was entering into the Diana Ross sort of syndrome, which wasn't bad. But some of the songs, you couldn't tell Decca at the time, but I don't think these are for me. I mean, they brought some lovely girls in to come and sing the backing vocals. And I remember saying, no, this isn't right, it isn't right. But they eventually brought in a band of lads called Bloodstone. You remember the band, Bloodstone?
Yeah.
Wow. When they came in, changed the songs completely. So,
Did they see you as a sort of Tina Turner?
Me?
Did they, Decca, see you as a Tina Turner?
No. And this is, it's just, I don't know where, I think it was the way I approached some of the songs that I did. I couldn't sing with Tina, I was just
Well, you've got the legs.
Yes, still have them.
And they come out now and then.
Oh, they do every Friday. But then we went on to work with the greats like Millie Jackson. My God, I did 6 months in Germany with Millie.
Was Brad Shapiro?
Wow.
Was Brad Shapiro on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah, absolutely. The drummer died because she was here about 3 years ago, and I met up with her again, and it was just wonderful to see her. What a lovely lady. What a wonderful woman. But tough. Oh, my goodness. I remember going to the cinema with her, and she said, Cissy, you and I are just going to the cinema. Sorry, Jim, am I going on?
Perfect.
No.
Perfect.
Well, she just took me to the cinema, and she bought a whole chicken, and we went to see this Superman film or something. And she just sat there and ate the whole chicken, put her legs over the seats in front, and just threw the bones all over the place. And I'm like, oh shit, we're going to be murdered when we get out of here. But then there was, I had a terrible time with her when we came back to England, and we did the Bouncing Ball in Peckham, and which is a great sort of soul blues place. And I had a terrible time there because some lady threw a knife at me. It just missed my shoulder and went out the back.
And killed the bass player?
No, it didn't, but it could have done. But she was so good to say that, you've got to stop this. Sissy might be a little pale, but she's right up. So it's a lovely, And I went on to work with her for a long time. And then Irma Franklin after that, Aretha's sister, worked with her.
In America or here?
In England and Germany. Yeah.
So I'm trying to work out now where your association with Muscles came in.
Muscles was, well, it was around the Body and Soul coming into the Cissy Stone time, because Muscles were
75, 76?
Yeah, 76, and Muscles were, I don't know what they were called before that. It was Jeff with his
King Bees?
King Bees, and before the King Bees there was something else. But then, and then he had the drummer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Carl Palmer, and he went on to do great things as well.
There's Steve James on drums when I was here.
Steve James.
And Mel Gaynor, who went on to Simple Minds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Steve is still in South Africa.
Is he?
No, sorry, I beg your pardon, he's back. He's back there from South Africa.
But they were great, man.
Oh my God.
And you seem sort of involved with them that's how I met you.
Yes, we did. It was one of Jeff's songs that you wanted a female vocalist on, and we did that, and it turned into a really dirty Donna Summer track, which could never be released. Ever.
Yes. It's called If It Relaxes Your Mind.
If it relaxes your mind, my
And
goodness.
she did 7 great takes on it.
Yeah.
Each one a step further than the other.
Oh, we had a laugh doing that, didn't we? Yeah, we really did.
We used the old Trojan reggae studio called
That we did.
Chalk Farm.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Well,
My
this is
goodness, you know, everything that you've done, and you know, and how you got me out of the Decca situation and everything is fantastic. So I just want to say, Jim, thank you so much.
Well, after tonight, who knows? Tell me about Joe Cocker.
Joe Cocker. Oh, here's another one of those stories. Do you remember John Tully?
Oh, very well.
Yes. Well, John's, he's passed away.
Yes.
But John was an agent, and he rang me and he said, Cissy, we want you to do the NEC with Joe Cocker. It's Friday. And I went, because John would wind you up, he was a terrible man for doing that. Anyway, the phone rang 3-4 times, and it was absolutely true. Can you do the show with Joe Cocker? We just want you to do 45-minute spot. It's at the NEC, you'll be paid. So, okay, so get all the lads together. I got Des to round them up, and we got together and we did it. And the one thing that he never told me was that the support artist was Sheryl Crow. Sheryl Crow. So we go on the stage and we're doing, we were so lucky that we had the most amazing drummer that had worked with Sheryl and worked with the band that were doing the sound and engineering and all the rest of it. And when he met our drummer, they all went, oh my God, you're in, you're fine, you're home. So we had everything, the PA, because before we actually did it, they came along and said, well, if you want to use that monitor, that's $20, and this monitor's another $20, and that's another. So before we knew where we are, it was like $200 to actually use the equipment. And we're thinking, hang on a minute, we're here just to support, and they don't even know who we are. So I wore this massive baseball cap that was given to me by Steve Piggott, who is the most incredible musician in the world. He was the Living in the Box. He wrote Living in the Box, and he's gone on to produce for great things. He's just the most amazing man. So he gave me this big hat to wear, and I wore it. And when I walked out, they never said anything. They just opened, the lights went up and down, and there we were. Never said who we were, and they all thought, it looks like her, but it wasn't. But then we did our set, didn't we? And we went down the storm. And Joe Cocker came back in, and he put a bath of champagne in our dressing room. And I burst into it. I couldn't believe it. I'll never forget it. Never, as long as I live. Honest to God. He couldn't. It was just unbelievable.
Well, so far it's been pretty exciting.
How did I get myself into terrible situations?
Let's leap up to date. A certain Jasper Carrot of this town described your current show as peculiarly entertaining.
Yes, that's what he said. He came to see me.
What's
She's
the peculiar?
peculiarly entertaining. And you know how he's got that face, but I'll kill myself laughing. But he's coming to the gigs anyway. Comes around, he loves it, and he's bringing his wife to the next one, the kitchen garden. So there we go.
And when is Kitchen Garden?
We're there, Des, when are we at the kitchen garden?
February 20th.
February
20th.
20th of February. I should have written this all down in my hand, I shouldn't.
I'm sure we'll all notice that. Tell me about your current band. Have you still got a soul band?
We have a big band. We have, as you know, Des Tom from Side Cafe is on bass.
Des Tom.
Des Tom is over here.
A veteran of blues talking.
Yeah. We have Sam Rogers on saxophone. We have, it could be either Brian Corbett. Brian Corbett would be on trumpet. Yeah, he's a great player. He's just unbelievable. And he's done the album, our last album with us, which is we're over the moon with that. And he's a good egg and he loves us. Our keyboard player is
Richard Jones.
Richard Jones and
Bob Wilson.
Bob Wilson, the most amazing guitarist
We know
from
Bob.
Birmingham. And you've got Bob here all the time, which is, he's just so sweet. You know, Bob can do everything. He's just, you know, he can go in from sweetness to blues and everything, you know, and soul. And then when he plays our stuff, it's just so sweet as well. You know, it's gorgeous. And he's got a great voice.
And the album, which I hope it tells a little bit about, is called Worth the Wait.
Yes, it was called Worth the Wait. Yes.
I think originally it was going to be called Worth the Wait in Gold, is that right?
Well, I got very ill in the middle of this album, so we had to. That's why we called it Worth the Wait. So it's done now, so we're happy.
The repertoire, the material?
All our own.
Really?
Yes. There's. I beg your pardon. There is 2 covers, isn't there? Just 2 covers on it, but the rest is all our own. So we're very happy with it, and we're writing for the new one now.
And the guys on the album are people you just mentioned, Molly?
Yes, absolutely. We're all there. We're all there.
When did you record?
We recorded it at D. Martin's studio. It was in Stourbridge, wasn't it?
Briley Hill.
Briley Hill. Yeah, yeah. All in the Midlands. All in, you know, close. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're pretty much up to our time now, but we do have some time for any more questions. Shoot. Chico.
Oh my God.
Chris.
So what sort of style of music are you doing now?
It's between soul, jazz, and that's the way I would describe it.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of, you know, we've taken tracks like Julie London, you know,
Oh, yeah.
Crimea River, and we're doing our own versions of that, and
Expect some answers.
beautiful stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And the Spanish guy that we love so much does, Alejandro Sanz, so we do a couple of his, and it's just lovely. It's a breath of fresh air, and we enjoy it so much. And it's just to be surrounded by great musos, and it just brings the best out of you. And I can't say more than that. I'm so lucky. That's all I can say. I really am. So lucky.
More questions? Come on, Chris.
Okay, I'm going to throw one in that I've asked before then for other people. You've mentioned you've been supporting Joe Cocker and
Yeah.
you mentioned Irma Franklin and
Yeah.
that. Is there one particular gig, one particular moment that really stands out for you that you thought at the end of it, wow, that was something?
For me, oh my God, I would have, honest to goodness, I would have thought it was, for me, it was the Joe Cocker. It was just so unexpected, and the way we were treated, and it was just mesmerising, really, because it was such a surprise. I never thought, you know, that we would be at the NEC doing that. You know, it was just incredible. So that's the one for me. Yeah, and all of the other things, like, you know, you have little moments like Cary Grant, and they're little precious moments that you take home with you, and then working with Irma Franklin and Millie Jackson, you know, God Almighty, they're just incredible.
Would you do a set here?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Jim, sorted.
Absolutely.
I'll let Chico negotiate this.
Of course. Yes, the 4 of us would love to come and do a set here.
Jim.
And I think you'd enjoy it,
Yeah.
because they're such great musicians, you know. They really work hard, and it's lovely. It's lovely.
And I think you're lovely. And I think we should also have a great thank you to Cissy Stone for being so interesting. I've known you for a lot of years. I've learned so much more about you tonight. I was impressed before, but now, wow. Let's put our hands together, please,
Oh,
for the
well,
unique
thank you so much.
Cissy Stone.